Hello, good afternoon. Salam alaikum. Marhaba. Ni men hao ma? 我也很好. Ajá. Los colombianos, ¿dónde están? ¿Alguien habla español? Buenas tardes. Bienvenidos. ¿Dónde están? Aha, okay. Korean. Annyeonghaseyo. Konnichiwa. So, welcome to the lecture. Okay, everybody. So, let's get started. I'm Deborah, and my email is there. So, if you want to send me an email anytime about learning English, then you're very, very welcome. Mike told you to switch off your phone, so better not send any emails right now. But that might be interesting to receive an email in the middle of my talk. I hope everybody has got a green paper. This green paper is to... Mike, could we have green papers at the back there? Somebody without a green paper? This is to help you to make a few notes. I'm going to ask you questions, and at the end I want you to write something. So please have a pen ready, and your green paper. The white paper is so you can tell me at the end if the lecture was easy or difficult or boring or helpful. I hope I'm going to help you. You can see that I love languages very much. 我喜欢学中文. Yeah? أحب أنا أحب اللغة العربية. Me gusta mucho aprender idiomas, and I can't say it in Japanese or Korean. Come and teach me some more, okay? I think that learning languages is a lot of fun. You know, we are very curious animals, human animals, yeah? We have different ways to communicate, and I didn't start to teach English because I love English. Really. I wanted to work with people from different countries, yeah? And I like learning languages. And so teaching English is a way to travel. It's a way to have communication all around the world, yeah? So anyway, I hope that I can show you some ways to practice so that you can start, speaking English like my horrible Arabic and Spanish. My Spanish is not bad, yeah? But I hope we can all learn together. And if you do want to ask questions, make a note. If we have time, you can ask them. If not, you can send me an email. Okay, so let's begin. How do you learn English? I thought about different ways that people learn languages. Sometimes it's like a parrot, yeah? The teacher says, ni hao. The student says, ni hao. Ni hao. Ni hao. In our class, in Chinese, we do a lot of listening and repeating. It's one method, isn't it? Another animal is the sponge. Yeah? The sponge takes in a lot of water. Some people don't speak much, but they listen, they read, and everything goes in, right? Sometimes I learn that way. And then there's bees, bzzz, yeah? And those bees dance about and they communicate. I like to learn that way. Yeah? People even told me that my name means a bee, very busy and talking too much. I don't know. But everybody has got different ways. I read a poem. About learning a language. And it said a lot of things. It said learning a language is like doing a jigsaw puzzle of 1,000,000 pieces. And the picture keeps changing. Yeah? I don't often do jigsaw puzzles. Yeah? But you know, you fit the pieces together and then you find they don't fit and you have to change them. But you just start somewhere, right? I start in the corner and then I find these pieces. But some people start in the middle and they move out. So what I'm saying is start somewhere and the pieces start to fit together. Oh. The poem said, learning a language is like getting lost in a foreign city without a map. Yeah? That's me in China. I decided to learn Chinese because when I was in China, I couldn't even read. I didn't know anything. I felt like a child, completely lost. Maybe it's like playing tennis without a ball. You practice, but it isn't quite right yet. Maybe it's like being an ant. Now we're back with some more animals. But the ant is in a field of grasshoppers. Yeah? I felt like that when I was learning other languages. And the grasshoppers know what to do. But when you're the ant, you're lost. But don't worry. One day, it's like this. It's like riding a bicycle, very fast, downhill. So you're going to feel like that with your English. So here's the outline of my lecture. I'm going to talk a bit about what successful language learners do. I'm going to suggest how you can do it, when, where, who can help, and ask you, what are you going to do next? That's what you're going to write at the end of the lecture. So it says at the bottom, think of 3 things you are going to do. So if you like something, write it down. Yeah? I hope you don't want to be a grasshopper. Okay, so let's do a little experiment. Okay? Like they do in science. I want everybody to think of something you can do really well and write it down. So don't write anything too personal. Something that you can do and write that thing down on your paper. Okay? If you're not writing, I suppose you can't do anything. And I don't believe you. Write something down that you know you can do. All right, write it down. Okay, I hope everybody has written down something. Yeah? Could be swimming, it could be riding a bicycle, driving a car, doing mathematics. But you wrote something? Okay. Now, this is the experiment. I want you to think how you learnt to do that thing. So, maybe you learnt it in a lecture like this or in a classroom. Maybe you made a lot of mistakes and so then you learnt to do it better. Maybe you did a lot of practice. Maybe you got some help from friends or from your family or from other people. All right? Maybe you used everything, but I want you to look at that thing you wrote and which method helped you the most. All right? Okay? Ready? I'm sorry, I haven't got those clickers. We're going to use our hands. All right? So that thing that you can do, did you learn it in a classroom or a lecture? Okay, some people, but I can't see many. Maybe 10 maximum. Okay, how many people made a lot of mistakes and it helped them to learn? Okay. Oh, I want to put my hand up again now. Did you do a lot of practice? Mm-hmm. And did you get some help? Okay, so people all over the world have the same answer. We don't learn very much in classrooms. Okay? People have asked this question in different countries, yeah? And students always say they learnt by practice, they learnt with other people, maybe they made some mistakes, so they did it better. And very few people say they learnt something useful in a classroom. Isn't that sad? Because what do we do with students? We put you in classrooms. We make you sit in lectures, and then we know it doesn't work. That's why I'm trying to ask you questions in this lecture, yeah? Not just talk to you, all right? So I don't think there's one way to learn a language, there's many. And this is one diagram. I don't think you can see this very well, can you? Yeah? So in this diagram it says it's about our intelligence. We have a multiple kind of intelligence. So some of us like to move around. And we learn a lot by moving and looking and, yeah, maybe riding a bicycle, something like that. So they're called kinesthetic. Some people like music, and that's true about me. I try to hear the music when I'm listening to different people speaking their language. Listen to songs as well. Some people use this intrapersonal. They like looking inside their own feelings and their own mind. Some people like nature, some people like books, some people like logic and mathematics. I like that one too. Some people like pictures. They like to see things visually, yeah? Like this lady down here, yeah? And some people like to be in a group with others and do interpersonal learning. If you're interested in this, ask your teacher. They can show you these websites and you can go online and you can find out about your own personality and your own learning, all right? But we haven't got time for that right now. Just to say that there are lots of different methods and different styles of intelligence. And my opinion is we shouldn't worry which one belongs to us. We should try them all and find out, you know, maybe if we change a bit, we'll learn a bit more. Now, I also think that there are some learners who are a bit mini learners, minimalist. Some books call these people dependent. They do what the tutor says. If the teacher says learn these words, they learn the words. If the teacher says do that exercise, they do the exercise. They are very obedient. I was like that when I was in school. Yeah, I did my homework. I read the books they told me to read. Yeah, I tried to do a bit more, but some people think that's enough. Okay, and I think it's a good idea to be a maximizer. Be independent. So independent learners, they do what we are doing now, think about how they learn. I've got lots of stories I could tell you about how I learnt French and Spanish, because I think I speak them okay. Arabic and Chinese and the others, no. Yeah? But we think about how we learn. We do more than the teachers tell us. And if we're learning English, we do everything we can. Yeah? If you're in any of my English classes, you know that I try to practice Chinese a little bit, because I don't think it's enough to go to a class. Yeah? So I say ni hao as often as I can, and then I try to say a bit more. Yeah? So let's try to be maximizers. Let's try to be independent. These people, I think they're like two animals. Yeah? The animal at the top is called a dolphin. Somebody told me they are very intelligent. Is that true? Yeah. I don't know very much about them, but I thought I would put a picture because we're going to be intelligent, right? And this animal down here is a fox. And in stories in many countries, the fox is a clever person in a rather cunning way. They play tricks. They know what they want and they get it from the other animals. Yeah? So I'm not going to steal anything, but let's think about how we can get what we want. Okay? And the way you can get what you want is to use strategies. Yeah? Strategy? A kind of a plan. A kind of, let's see if this will be successful. It was successful, so if I do the same thing, that will be a good strategy. And some strategies are rubbish. Yeah? Look at George Bush. Or David Cameron. Yeah? So you can have different strategies. Let's think of some for learning English. Okay, I've got my favourite book about this. Divides the strategies into direct and indirect. If anybody's going to be an English teacher, anybody? I recommend Rebecca Oxford. Another crazy woman. Yeah? Okay, so Rebecca says, first of all, we have direct strategies. We have our memory. We have cognitive strategies and compensation. I'm going to explain a little bit what they mean. All right? Am I speaking loud enough? Too loud? Is it okay? I feel as if I'm shouting. Is that better? Is that all right? Okay? All right. So, memory. I don't remember vocabulary very well. It's really a big problem for me to remember things. I even forget faces. Yeah? So I don't remember a word if I just know the English translation. You know, if my Chinese teacher tells me, Xi Huan means like, Wo Xi Huan Zhongwen, I can't remember the word except if I put it in a sentence. Yeah? So, Wo Xi Huan Zhongwen, I like Chinese. Bu Xi Huan Nu Zhou, I don't like meat. Yeah? Then I maybe remember. Okay? Another way... Sorry? I can't say it in Arabic. Sorry. But if I remember a sentence, yeah, it's easier for me. Okay? What about you? Do you write a list of English words and a list of words in your language? Do you remember them all? Because I don't. So I suggest that you try to use the words in a sentence. Play with them. Okay? I like learning songs, I told you that. And I like learning poems. I'm not going to sing for you, but I can remember some French songs that I learnt long time ago in the 20th century. And it helps me to remember some French words, okay? So I tried to teach you a little bit of a poem, that learning a language is like riding a bicycle very fast downhill. Then maybe you will remember, okay? Or singing, or using, this is a picture of a flower, yeah? So if I was trying to learn some biology words, some botany words, maybe I would learn like this, yeah? I have a picture at home of a little Chinese boy, and he's got a headache, toe tongue, yeah? And he's got a hand, shuo, yeah? And he's got a mouth, ko. And I can remember because I've got the picture. But otherwise, I just forget. Yeah? So, some things work better for some people. But try to think of different ways and practice them. Okay? Don't forget I asked you to write 3 things you like. So if I say something you like, make a note. Okay? The next thing is about our mind, our mental processes. Yeah? Use some cognitive strategies. This is about the way we think. So we have to remember that every language is different. And we say things in different ways. And you cannot translate each word from English into your language. Right? 是不是? Okay, so in Chinese they say, is it or not? Something like that, yeah? I mean, I can't translate that into English. Yeah? Vale? You know? So in my Chinese class, people say, but what's the meaning of this? And the teacher can't explain. You just have to believe that this is what Chinese people say. Yeah? And you can't divide it up. So that's why I've got a picture of George Bush. He's answering the telephone. In England, we say hello. In Germany, they say their name, Bush, or Cobbett, or Hunt, or Ibdali, but I think Julie isn't there. Yeah? Okay, so if you go to China, people say Wei. Wei? Okay. In Spain, they say dígame. In Mexico, they say bueno. And that means good. What do you say in Arabic? Okay. You don't say nam or aywa? Okay, all right. Hello. All right. So, you see, that's a very simple example of different words, just different ideas for the same situation. So in Mexico, I just thought, well, if I pick up the phone, I have to say bueno, because that's what people do. Yeah? I'm not going to say, why do you say good? I'm just going to copy. And if I go to China, I have to say wei. Okay? So just don't worry sometimes, you know, just do it. Yeah? But the other thing that I think is useful is this thing, looking for patterns and trying to find connections, you know? So when you know how to say, I like Chinese, then you can say, I like German, I like Spanish, I like Arabic, I don't like Portuguese, yeah, or something else. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. I'm very sorry. But you try to find links, similarities. So you learn a word today, and maybe tomorrow you learn its brother. So today you learn happy, and tomorrow you learn happiness. Oh, you want to learn unhappy. Okay, all right. So you try to make sense. You use what you've got in here. Use your brain, but try to be flexible as well, because the languages are different. Okay? So with the vocabulary, try to learn a lot of things, like the meaning of the word, the spelling, the pronunciation, the grammar, the words that it goes with, the words that it doesn't go with, the collocations. Yeah? All right? If you're interested in this, you need to come and visit the self-access room, because we can show you more. All right? But these are just a few examples of cognitive strategies. This is something that I'm very good at, I think. When I don't know how to say something, I compensate. So if I can't say something correctly, I try. Maybe I use my hands. I like flying in an aeroplane. And then somebody will tell me, Feiji, yeah, aeroplane, Feiji, Anna, Uhub. Ah, thank you. Sayara? I thought Sayara was a car. Ah, Sayara. No? So we find different ways to communicate, yeah? And you try to find different ways to understand. So that's called compensating. You don't have the correct word, so you try something else. You're not sure, but you guess. All right? Now she's going to say way. All right. Then we've got some indirect strategies. And there are 3 kinds that Rebecca Oxford talks about in her wonderful book. So the first thing is about getting organised. So use your student handbook. Your teacher had an interview with you in the tutorial. And you had something like this about the things you are good at and the things you need to practice. So it's a good idea to know what you want to do. Okay? You can't say, I want to be perfect in English next week. You can say, I'd like to learn some more vocabulary, so every week I'm going to take a different topic and I will try to learn vocabulary about that topic, and maybe I will read and write an essay about one topic. That's a way of being organised, because you choose one goal. Not be perfect in English, but maybe learn about travel words in English, yeah? And read something about travel. So your tutor can help you with this, yeah? Have you done it? Nobody? Good, right, okay. So that's the first step, but you have to remember it and check if you've made any progress. Another thing you could do, and it's on your little paper, you could think about your time, yeah? So, on the paper that I gave you, the little green paper, there's a box that says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Every day you should learn a bit more English. I'm not talking about 9:15 in the morning with your teacher. I'm talking about maybe when you have your breakfast, switch on the radio, listen to some English. Have a look at the paper now. See if you can think of a time. Today's what, Wednesday? Okay. So maybe after this lecture, you could do a bit more English. You could go upstairs, you could go in the student union, yeah? There's a big place called activities, and you could have a look for one of these about volunteering in Sheffield, about give it a go activities, about finding out about sports and clubs. Yeah? While I was waiting for you all to come in, I just went upstairs and picked up these things. So you can do the same thing. Go and talk to somebody. Yeah? Say, I don't know where I can find a club for... I like singing. I want to join a singing club. And they will help you. And it's more English practice. Yeah? See if you can find a time tomorrow when you could do a bit more English. Yeah? I'm going to take a break for 30 seconds to give you time to look at that. Okay? So see what you can think about, yeah, for 2 or 3 days. Yalla, come on. That's better. Yeah? You look very uncomfortable. I've just seen you sitting in that. There's a lovely space down here. Yeah? You could come and sit over here. No? Aren't people funny? Yeah. Okay, have you written anything? I don't. Oh yeah, something very small. All right, so think about your time and get organised. Yeah? You know, some students learn 100 words before breakfast. Yeah? Some students maybe learn 3 words before breakfast. That's me. Yeah? Okay? So make a plan. Think about a bit more. I put some smiley faces to show you after your class, Monday, yeah? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, you can come and talk to me or another teacher, because the Self-Access Centre has got a teacher. Okay. Some of you know room C10. Some of you have visited me there. Yeah? Who has been in room C10? Yeah? Okay. So that's something you could do at 3:15, or it says 3:30 because sometimes we're a little bit late. Yeah? So 3:30 till 4:30, you will find a teacher in room C10. We can show you some books, CDs, CD-ROMs, websites. We've got more information about activities in Sheffield. We've got a few games. We've got a mole. You know what mole is? No? Well, I haven't got time to tell you now. Come and visit C10. But it's stuff on the computer. Do you like computers? Yes? 你喜欢电脑吗? Okay. So you can do all those things, right, in the self-access room to help you practice more. And those would be all of those strategies are about getting yourself organized, okay? So that you don't have a horrible mess in your head and your life. You know what you're doing, yeah? And the next thing is about your emotions to feel good, because you can do it, yeah? Do you know, I can't believe I've said about 10 sentences in Chinese today. Last year I couldn't do that, yeah? And I think some of you could understand me, yeah? So I made a little bit of progress. So I have to feel good, yeah? And you have to feel good and encourage yourself. Because sometimes when you're sort of an intermediate level, you think, I don't think I'm making progress. Every day is the same. I don't get any better. Yeah? Hello? Oh, I thought you wanted to talk to me. Yeah? So, you know, you have this sort of feeling sometimes. This is terrible. Or I'm getting worse. Yeah? I felt like that very often, learning stuff. But you have to remember that you can do it. Yeah? And when you're talking to English people, just try and feel confident. Yeah? But some days you get those awful people. And you can see their face. Another foreigner. And they're not very helpful. But most people in Sheffield will help you. And you just have to kind of keep yourself going. And one way to do that is to work with other people. And we'll help you. And your teachers will help you. And your classmates will help you. Yeah? The next thing is about being social. And in this room, Mike told me there were going to be 400 students. Well, I don't know if it's 400, but I think in one way that's true, but actually there's 400 teachers. Because everybody in this room knows something, they can help another person. You know some English that your neighbour doesn't know. And they know something you don't know. Yeah? So it's really a good idea to use other people. Yeah? And of course, now that you're in Sheffield, enjoy Sheffield. Go out, talk to people. Yeah? Ooh, very cold today, isn't it? English people love to talk about the weather. And then you ask them, excuse me, have you got the time? Is the tram coming? Oh, I don't know. Does this tram go to the city centre? Ah, good. Are you going to the city centre? You know, I talk to people in Sheffield because they're so friendly. And in London, people think I'm mad. because I'm a Londoner, but I take my Sheffield way down to London and they think, But in Sheffield it works. Yeah? Have you tried talking to people here? Yeah? You know, I get on the tram and I say, horrible rain, isn't it? You know? All sorts of rubbish. Yeah? I also did it when I went to Nicaragua. Yeah? And I got on buses and I had free Spanish lessons going around the country on these buses, asking people where they were going, about their family, about their country. Yeah? So you do the same thing. And if you think that you are too shy, I'm a very shy person. Yeah? I'm really scared of all of you. I don't like talking to a big group. So I just have to pretend I don't care. And another thing is to make people speak about themselves. Use a bit of strategy. Human beings like to talk about themselves. Yeah? About themselves. So if you ask somebody a question, they will tell you their life story. And you can listen. Yeah? Another strategy is think what you like to do and find other people who like it. So if you like swimming, join a swimming club. Yeah? If you like ping pong, do that. Yeah? If you like painting or dancing or whatever you enjoy, find other people who enjoy it. Yeah? Or go to places that you like and you'll find other people who like that place. So these are all some strategies. Yeah? Do you know all these places yet? Yeah, most of these places are libraries. Well, I have to tell you to go to the library because this is a university. Yeah? So they're good places to go and learn more. Which we're in this building, aren't we? And I told you to go upstairs and talk to people up there. Do you know this one? That's Goodwin Sports Centre, so that's for the people who like to do sport. What about all these places? Yeah. Sheffield Station, I can't see Sheffield Station. Yeah. This place is a cinema. Sometimes they show films from South Korea, from Japan, from China, Egypt, Iran, all over the place. Yeah? That's one of the places I like. And there's a tourist information centre there in town. This place, that's the other university. Yeah? And they have a language exchange. Ask your teacher to show you the link. Yeah? I told you to talk to people on the tram. And there's also a lot of things happen in the cathedral. They have really interesting talks about different topics. They have art shows. They have concerts. And you can go and ask them about Jesus if you want. Yeah? The library in town, join the library and go to Weston Park. You know, go out and around and enjoy being in the city. Okay? Now, have you decided what you want to improve? It was question 1 on your paper. What? On your paper it was question 1. Huh? Yeah. So I said get organised, decide what you want to improve, and then these are just a few ideas. We've got more in room C10. Yeah? So let's just pick 1 or 2. You know, listen every day, for example, on the BBC. Yeah? Or find some lectures on your subject. Yeah? These things are links which your teachers can show you in class, or we will put this in Mole for you so that you can open the links. There are a lot of ways we've mentioned about speaking, improving and practicing your speaking. I think you noticed I don't speak English 100% of my time. Yeah? And I'm sure you don't. Yeah? How many people speak English maybe 90%? 80? Good. Wow. 70? 60? Oh, you don't 50? So half your life in Sheffield you speak English, and half your life another language. So maybe tomorrow try and speak 51%, 52. Just try to increase how much English you're speaking. And there are all these ways. We've talked about some of these already, haven't we? Yeah? Reading. Do you pick up the free newspapers? On the tram you can pick up a free newspaper. You can get one upstairs in the Student Union. It's called the Forge Press. You can do online reading. We can give you a reading report that you could fill in the self-access. And you can come and borrow books from us. Yeah, so there's lots of reading practice that you can do. And writing. Lots of ideas for this. Yeah? And grammar. You know. Focus on what you're doing wrong and try to put it right. Yeah? And come and try something different in room C10. Yeah? So I've said get busy in the Student Union. Volunteering, they will tell you about jobs you can get. Not part-time jobs for money, part-time jobs to help people for no money. But a lot of benefit for you. Yeah? Because it makes you feel good when you help another person. And of course you will be doing that in English. So you'll be learning about England and English culture and language. Do you want to see a Chinese student? Maybe it's time. Yeah, time to stop. But this Yozi is very interesting. If you're Chinese, yeah, Google this on the university website. Yeah, what does it mean? Yozi. What? Yozi. What's the meaning? Come and tell me afterwards, all right? But the Chinese students have a wonderful time in Sheffield. You should look at this. Okay, I want to tell you about something you can do on Friday. So you could put it on your list of 3 things. David Reed is giving a workshop about using electronic tools to learn vocabulary. Yeah? 1:45 on Friday. And he made this poster. So you will see this poster in your classrooms. And that's a way that you can find out more about practicing vocabulary. And finally, I'd like you to remember something. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So if you just go on learning the same way, you'll get the same result. But if you try something new, maybe you'll be a little bit more successful. Yeah? And so that's what I wanted to tell you about being successful language learners. And what happens next is up to you. Yeah? So if you think of 3 things that you could do, 3 little steps, you'll be starting a new journey of 1,000 miles. And I hope that you're successful with learning English, and if you come along to C10, we'll do everything we can to help you. Thank you very much.